Hello, Marcus Bronzy here. Before we start today's podcast, I'd just like to let you know that you can vote for us in the Listener's Choice Awards at this year's British Podcast Awards 2019. If you'd like to vote for us, it only takes a minute of your time. Head to britishpodcastawards.com/vote. That's britishpodcastawards.com/vote. Type in How to Kill an Hour and then you'll have voted for us. It only takes a minute of your time and we'd really appreciate it. We'll also put a link in the show's description. Thank you very much in advance. And hey, here's hoping we win. Anyway, over to the podcast.
Are you serious?
So this is How to Kill an Hour. My name is Marcus Bronzy. Thanks in advance for killing some time with us. Joining us on today's show is a good friend of How to Kill an Hour, a regular dude in here, someone who's been doing the most at the moment, Dev.
Some say too much. Some say you're doing too much. No one's ever said that to me. No one's ever said you're doing too much.
You're not suffering from that overexposure just yet. We'll let you know. We'll let you know. So loads to talk about in today's show. First things first, we need to talk about SAS Who Dares Wins.
Dun, 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 dun.
Stand Up for Cancer special. Now
12 recruits are seeing if they have what it takes to be in the SAS. I'm trying to do that guy's voiceover. He's got an amazing voice.
His voice has lived. He's got a voice to live.
All right, so for people who've never seen the show before, there's a bunch of former special forces soldiers who take members of the public and they put them through the type of training you would go through to get into the SAS, and they make it into a television program. It's really, really brutal, as you can imagine. They try and make it as hard as possible. They try and give you as close of a taste of what it's like to actually train to be in the SAS. And they did the first celebrity version. We filmed it last year, and it just started on Channel 4 Sunday just gone, which would have been the 7th.
Yeah, that's it.
Sunday the 7th.
And how long is it running for? Like, is it 5 episodes?
Well, they weren't only going to have 4, but the channel were like, we like it, guys, because that's how people at Channel 4 talk. We like it, guys. It's great. Let's get 5. I think they're going to. We love it, guys. They're going to stretch it out into 5 episodes. Yeah, 5
eps, and the show really does show people getting the hard end of the stick, or as they say in the SAS, the normal end of the stick. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But it's extremely physically and mentally draining, right? So when they do the celebrity version of this show, the presumption is that they're going to tailor it down a little bit, you know. Was that the case with the show?
I mean, I'd seen the show before. I knew what I was signing up for. Like, I didn't even know where it was going to be or anything. They just said it's going to be cold, which I think I can handle way more than, say, if we had to be in the desert or the jungle, like some of the other series that they've had. So I didn't know where we were flying until the day I got to the airport. And the producer's like, do you want to see where you're going? Open up the little bit of paper, my itinerary. It's like going to Chile, Santiago, Chile. I was like, oh my God. And then you get like a little fitness test beforehand. Apparently, like there's a few people who dropped out at that fitness test thing you had to do
prior to the show.
Yeah, so I just went out to I went down to a gym. I had to run flat out for 9 minutes on a treadmill. I had to you have to lift like quite a considerable weight. There's a certain way they want you to, like, not quite a clean and jerk, but a sort of half jerk clean. I don't know, try and go on like I know those moves. Then we had to like carry these really heavy jerry cans across the length of a gym. But I think that the DS, the directing staff who are on the show, they have a reputation to uphold. There's people who really, really enjoy watching that show. It's got a very hardcore fan base, and I could tell, like, immediately as soon as we started putting out press about there being a celebrity version, people thought, it's gonna cheapen the show. It's not gonna be as good. You know, I saw one guy. He was like, I bet the challenges are gonna be like, you know, put your left shoe on, now put your right shoe on. So I think the staff, They were thinking about that. They were like, we want to make it, if anything, we want to go harder on them so that people don't think that we've just gone easy because it's a celebrity version. So the very first thing we had to do was the backwards fall out of that helicopter. That's the very first thing we had to do. And you know they've said that that's the hardest thing that they've had, that they've set up for a first challenge. So we went from 2 days of acclimatization because it's so far above sea level. It's about 2,500 feet altitude. We had 2 days at a hotel where we went for a jog, did a little bit of exercise. Now in that kind of altitude, you know, you run for 10 seconds, 15 seconds, and you feel like you can't get your breath back. You know that feeling just after you've sprinted, that kind of...
Yeah.
But you think, all right, I'm going to take a few gulps, and in a few seconds, I'm going to be all right. In that altitude, it doesn't really do that. You kind of stay out of breath for a lot longer. So we had 2 days of the altitude training, and then we were taken to this river, bags put over our heads, still had my normal clothes on and stuff, bag put over your head, taken to the other side of the river. And then that's where you saw the show start, when the bag gets taken off our heads. We got told to face the lake, rather, not river. We got told to face the river. Helicopter comes over. Ant Middleton, like the main DS, falls backwards out of the helicopter. And I look at Sam, who's like next to me, and I say, you know we're going to have to do that next, right? And sure enough, one by one, we had to run up this little hill. I'd never even been in a helicopter before, but I remember not even having enough time to be excited about it. I was like, I better listen or I might die here.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And it was such a good first challenge for us to do because, you know, everything that they do on the show is deliberate. There's no kind of mistakes or accidents. They're very, very calculated with everything they do. So I'm in this helicopter listening to Ant, and he's giving me instructions. He says, you're going to cross your arms, you're going to lean back out of the helicopter, I'm going to hold onto your arm, and then I'm going to let go. Don't try and turn around, don't try and do a flip or anything like that, just let yourself fall back head first into the water.
Why specifically can you not try and flip over and land in head?
It's more
with your feet
dangerous.
in?
I think it's more dangerous to do it like that. I don't know why. But you're a good 20, maybe 30 feet above the water. It's a high drop. So I'm standing on the edge of this helicopter, leaning back. This is the first thing I've had to do. You know, like a couple of hours before, I was eating steak at this hotel. Eating steak at the hotel, like, this is great, bro. This is easy. And I'm leaning back out of this helicopter, and it's all my weight is like Ant's the only thing stopping me from falling out of this helicopter. And in that moment, just before he let go, I remember thinking, oh, this is clever. They're in control, aren't they? From this moment on, they'll be in control of everything. I don't get to decide when I jump out of this helicopter. He's going to let go of me out of this helicopter. So I had a few seconds where he's holding on to me. Again, my whole weight, she's just holding on with one arm. I've got my arms crossed over my chest. And I'm thinking, he's going to let go. He's going to let go. Is it going to be down? Is it going to be down? Oh, it's now. And let's get there. And the drop, it was such a higher drop. I remember having time to think as I was falling out of the helicopter. These are the things I was thinking. Is this stupid? Am I going to look quite cool doing this? Is it going to hurt? I had time to think about all of those things as I was dropping, and then boosh, hit the water head first. And you got to pop up, wave your arms in the air like you just don't care. No, like you got to wave your arms in the air. That was a signal to let them know you were all right.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know if you've ever tried waving your arms in the air whilst fully clothed in water. Like,
so you're treading water, yeah. and you can't use your arms to stay afloat because right. You've got to show them.
I'm trying to wave my arms and be like, oh, I'm okay. Because they have a little safety boat nearby. And then you have to swim to shore. And it took me about 15, 20 minutes to swim back because you got a little bit of a current in the lake / weird river thing. And also you're fully clothed with boots on as well. So you got to swim all the way back to shore, take off your wet clothes, and then put on your new dry clothes. That's the initiation.
So the initiation was dropped out 30 feet into water, and then you got to tread water and swim for 20 minutes fully clothed.
Yeah, you swim back to the shore, but because you're fully clothed, you're not moving like, you're at a swimming pool. Yeah. You just like bomb it down the end and then back. You can't do that. Like, you got a little bit of a current to deal with. You got all your clothes and stuff. You got boots on, like filled with water.
Was it like a breaststroke jobby, or could you just try and cut through it? I was
doing. I was like, I didn't want to put my head back underneath the water, because you also had this moment when you fall out of the helicopter at such a height. It's probably half a second, but to me it felt a little bit longer. When I hit the water and I went down into the water, for a few seconds, you don't know which way to swim. You don't know, is that the way down that I fell in, or have I spun around a little bit? I don't want to start swimming towards the bottom. So you kind of have to let your body sort itself out, and you feel yourself, okay, I'm floating up. I was like, okay, that's upwards, that's the way I got to swim.
Fuck.
Yeah.
And that's like the first scene we see. So we see you see you coming out of the water, and I think somebody makes a comment like, "Oh, I'm a bit cold," and then starts saying, you're cold, yeah? You're cold."
Yeah.
And then, so from then on, like, so the way we watch it, is it relatively in sync, or are they chopping and changing little bits?
Yes.
How much of it is real? Because I understand they have got to cram it into a show.
They put 2 days into 40 minutes or 42 minutes or something like that. Because like, you know, it is for Stand Up to Cancer. So what they are putting in this series is little short films about people who have been affected by cancer, and just to kind of, you know, reiterate why we're doing it. 'Cause, you know, like, no one got paid to like go out there and do it. It was for charity. But yeah, like how you see it, it's edited down. Like, so much is chopped out. So there's so much that you're not seeing. So there's a bit where we get woken up and we get told to be out on the square. But what you haven't seen is that will be us coming back from a day of getting beasted. We'll go to sleep for an hour. Somebody will burst into the room at like 10 to midnight and be like, right, out in the square, 5 minutes. You got to put your clothes on, be out in that square, and then we'll get beasted for an hour and a half. And there's a bit where we you know, where they make us do a duck walk or crawl around. Like, you're doing that around the whole square. They're editing it together to make it look like, oh, we just did that for a few seconds, and then, you know, you switch up to do a fireman lift or whatever. But nah, that whole, even just that getting beasted lasted for an hour and a half.
So at that point, it's early on in the show, what's going through your head? Because like you said, yesterday or 2 days ago, you're eating steak. You're in a nice hotel. Yeah, I've gone for a little run. I'm acclimatized. Like, what the fuck goes through your head when they've done that? When this is fresh for you?
It's probably one of the best ways they could have introduced us to the course. I feel like I tried to really mentally prepare myself for what was going to happen. I always knew it's going to be really brutal. Physically, it's going to be insane. But, you know, like I used to go basketball camps when I was younger, and it kind of reminded me a little bit of that. Like, you're not really going there to have fun. You're going there to work hard. You know, going there to, every day you're going to get up early and you're going to be working hard all day. And if someone says, you know, drop down, do push-ups, whatever, you just do it. I think the quicker you switch into that mentality of you just got to get on with it, whatever they put in front of you, the easier it's going to be.
And some people struggled with it a bit. I can't put names on it. Some people were giving cheeky little remarks and having fun. And that seemed to kind of, I don't know if they knew it, they were kind of picking themselves to get beasted on and stuff. So, but I did notice in the first episode, at least, you were kind of heads down. And do you think that's because of the basketball training? You were just like, right, let me get it done. You asked for a piss. That was funny. Can I really go run for a piss, please?
It was so embarrassing. I can't believe that's like one of my first introductions on the show is me asking to use the toilet. But again, that's only because
no bladder control.
Because we Dev asks to use the toilet and is told fuck off by hand. That was like, you know, 10 to midnight. They'd woken us up.
Yeah.
I'm a very regular guy, and I'd seen the show before, and I'm just thinking, okay, if they're gonna beast us, they're gonna do it until someone drops out. I don't want to have to like drop out because I need to go for a piss. You know, I also don't want to piss myself on
I was
TV,
curious.
so.
I was thinking, is the next line going to be Dev, eager to stay in the game, decides to relieve himself in his trousers? Like, I don't know.
Dev has just whipped it out and started pissing everywhere. You're getting better at that.
It's getting stronger. So yeah, 2 days in.
But yeah, you're thinking all types of things, man. I never once thought it was a mistake to sign up or I shouldn't have done it. But the not knowing what you're going to do next, they're so good at that. They're so good at, you know, you've got sometimes camera crew around you, but you stop noticing them after a while. You're not allowed any contact with them. You're not allowed to ask, you know, for help or whatever, or some water. You're just supposed to just ignore them and get on with it. But it's very difficult to think of anything past what the current task was, you know. But then saying that, I had a lot of opportunities over the course to really take things in. So I don't know if you've seen the toilet situation that they got there.
I heard the conversation. Is it a piss and a shit?
Well,
or is it a shit and a piss in that? And you burn it. That's all I heard.
The toilets are cubicles next to each other that have elbow height walls on them. So if I'm sat next to you having a shit, I'm looking in your face. You know what I mean? Like, I can see your whole top half of your body. There's no hiding. And I remember the first time I saw the toilets, I was like, yeah, I'm either going to wait until 3 a.m. to take a shit, or I'm just going to hold it in for like the whole week and not go. But obviously, you can't really do that, because if you're running up a mountain
Shit
and you
yourself.
want to, you just got to go. When you got to go, you got to go.
Yeah.
And I think the second day in, I was like there shitting with the girls. I just like sat next to the girls having a shit, being like, yeah, what do you think we're going to be doing today? And I remember there was one morning I went out on my own, time a little morning shit, like I said, quite regular. And, you know, we're in the middle of the Andes, man. And I'm like sat there, I'm having a shit, and I'm just looking at the skyline. We're right in like a sort of, I don't want to say crater, but, you know, we're just surrounded by snow-capped mountains, you know. And like one side was beautiful clear skies, the other it looked like there was like a snowstorm or something rolling. And I was like, wow, this is the best place I've ever had a shit before, ever. This is not even like, forget top 5, this is the best place I've ever had a shit before. And then I remember the moment was kind of ruined a little bit, because, you know, where I'd started shitting and then inevitably had to piss, it like angled through one of the slits, you know, made out of wood, and then I sort of accidentally pissed all over the back of my trousers as well, so it's ruined a little bit. Like, this is one of the best places I've ever had shit. I'm pissing everywhere.
Fuck. So where we're at now, so just so we've seen the first episode, so this is early April, and I've seen clips. They've showed little montages that show different parts of the show. Now, one of the most interesting parts about the show isn't just the physical stuff, it's the mental side of things. I feel like in each episode, they focus on one of the contestants or two of the contestants and speak about, they break you down. So I feel like this is an inevitable thing to come. Now, I know you can only tell us so much, but how was that personal experience for you? Because I feel like they sit there and you see them reading up about people and getting as much information as possible. Did they try and do that to you and kind of work brain on you?
Yeah, so one of the things that I wasn't expecting from the process, I think I'm quite good at being, you know, I'm a very private person. And even though on my radio shows and stuff, I don't mind exposing myself a little bit or being quite honest. But at the same time, and, you know, I get told the same thing from like almost any girl I've ever dated. It's like, you never talk about yourself, or I don't really know much about it. I don't know. I'm trying to get better at it, but I do feel weird opening up. And it's one of the things, you know, we get given a psychiatrist to talk to, like both before, during and after this whole process. And the woman, Victoria, that I've been speaking to, she just broke me down so well that, you know, you think you're hiding something quite well, and actually you're not. You're wearing it out there on your sleeve. She said to me after the process, she was like, you know, you started very much on the outskirts of the group, and then by the end, you were like, you know, you were bringing everybody together, and, you know, you're making sure everybody was all right. Like, is everybody warm? Is everybody fed? And that's how I am with my close friends and family. That's how I am. You know, I'll do anything for my close friends and family, but just because of this job, you kind of have to keep people at arm's length a little bit. You know, you can't just let everybody who rolls up to you like, hey, come on, come be in my circle, come be my friend. So like learning that about myself, that's who I am. That's just who I am anyway. You know, I am a naturally tactile and caring person, and I don't know, maybe there's even like points in my life where I felt like I weren't allowed to be like that it was seen as a sign of weakness or something, that maybe I just care too much. No, like, you know. But yeah, just kind of coming out of it thinking, you know, it's all right to be like that, but without giving away too much, this is the first time I've ever done anything this public that is that exposing. You know, it was a full spectrum, full range of emotions that I experienced during the whole process.
Fuck.
Yeah.
And would you say that being part of the SAS, they require to get that level of openness from you, or get that amount of detail from you? Do you think that's part of the process? Like, they need to know, like, because I feel like if you and I are going to go overseas on a Black Ops mission and potentially never come back again, and we've got to do some real fucked up shit that no one may never know about, I feel like I need to know you almost better than you know yourself, and vice versa, to be able to work the best. So is that part of the process?
Well, put it this way, man. So there's an interrogation part.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen the past series, but there's an interrogation part. Now, the reason they work you so hard during the week is to get you as mentally drained, physically drained as possible so that they can, I mean, look how people are when they're just a bit hungry, you know? Like, hangry is a real thing.
Yeah.
You know, just give your hands on to eat, you'll get moody with the people around you. You have something to eat, you're like, oh, my fault. Sorry, I was just a little bit hungry. Now imagine you're hungry and you're tired, and now you have to go out and do a mission together. You got to work as a team, and, you know, naturally, you know, that's going to be all your insecurities, all your weaknesses are going to be, you know, magnified so much in that situation. But again, they're so good at identifying all of them. So put it this way, without going into too much detail, what I'd learned, you know, from chatting to some of the staff is that during your actual training, and yes, I mean, they do it for like 6 months, a year or whatever. You know, we did it for a few days. But part of the interrogation process, they'll try and personalize it to you. So they'll find out whether it's the noises that they'll play to you or whatever the situation that they'll put you in, they'll personalize that to you. So, for example, if you've got kids or something, they'll use that as part of the interrogation process to really, really try and make you break. It's nuts. It's one of the things that a lot of the staff members were saying, that's a part of the training that they wouldn't want to do again. It's the interrogation bit. Because
Staff said that?
Yeah. And maybe they were just, I don't know. But that was the worst part of all of it.
Really? That was the lowest point? Yeah. Fuck. And apart from the beautiful shit and pissing on your leg, what would you say is one of the highest the highest points?
As naff as it might sound, the relationships that I built with everybody who I did it with, I've never bonded with a group of people like that before, ever. Right from day one, we were all in it together. Everyone was helping out each other, and we were a family because, you know, we were all equal in that moment. It didn't matter if we were, you know, guys or girls or how, you know, strong we are mentally or physically. It didn't matter in that moment. We're like, right, we are all here together, and the only way we're going to get through it is together. There were times we were, you know, huddled together to try and keep warm and, you know, making sure that, you know, here, have my egg, you haven't had anything to eat today, or, you know, like, share my rations or something. And that's probably the part that I really missed the most coming back from it, is being in a unit of people that felt like they would, you know, they'd do anything to help you and look out for you. And yeah, the camaraderie, is that a word?
Yeah, camaraderie.
That's what I missed the most coming out of it, and that's what I really enjoyed. You kind of wake up with everybody, and you have a little laugh and a joke, and you might be, you know, beasted that day, but then you like come back and someone will put a little bit of like Sudocrem on your back or something like that. You know, everyone was just kind of looking out for each other. Like, how many times in your life do you have an opportunity to be in a unit of people where you're all equal? You're all like part of this weird little community, and then also after that experience is finished, who else is going to understand what it was like? You know, not people who sat there watching at home. Like, they'll never know. They might have a tiny little idea. They're not really going to know what any of that was like. So that's another reason why we all still keep in contact. You know, we got a little WhatsApp group. Everyone messages each other, and you know, it's obviously quite difficult for us all to meet up because everyone's busy and professional and stuff, but. Yeah, that was probably my favourite part of the whole process. Is just like bonding with this group of before strangers, and now they're like family now.
Would you do it again?
Tomorrow. I'll go tomorrow. If they were like, we're doing it again, we lost footage, we're gonna go back and like film it again, I'm like, cool, let's go. I loved it so much. I find it so hard to motivate myself sometimes that having Foxy or Ollie or Ad come bursting through the door, being like, right, 10 minutes, like, out in the square, full kit. I'm like, yes, let's go, man. What we doing today? I loved that, you know. And there were some of the challenges that was so difficult. Like I run a marathon, right? Every day was harder than running a marathon. I'm not just saying that. Every day we did something that hard. Marathon, you run in a straight fucking line. You run in a straight line with the whole of London like, come on, you can do it. Giving you like jelly babies and that orange slices. On the back, that's another weird thing about the London Marathon, right? Sorry to like switch back and forth. But when would you ever accept an orange segment off a stranger in the street? Like, I'm not a rude guy,
Yeah.
but if you come up to me in the street and offer me an orange, I'd slap it out of your hand and get the fuck away from me, you weirdo. You offer me an orange slice? What? Where did you get it from? Your house? What is going on? But the London Marathon, it's some like little kid. Even now, like accepting food of kids, like they're filthy, man. Probably like digging their arms out. Do you want some oranges? Like, I just took an orange slice of a little kid. Like, cool, man. Thanks, Junior. Like, on my way. One day a year.
What if Junior was like, "Here, Dad, I've got an orange slice for you," and then was like, "Yoink."
Oh, that was me.
My bad.
Weird.
Yeah.
Fuck, I forgot what I was talking about. How did I get? Oh yeah. So look, I've run the London Marathon with very little training. 10 days after coming back from Jamaica Carnival.
So that's like minus training, isn't it? Really, that's like.
No, if you think about it, because
okay, all right, yeah, I know what you're getting at. Go on.
I mean, all the parties you're going to, you're dancing.
Right.
On the actual carnival route, I think it's something like, 13 and a half miles.
Oh, there you go, yeah.
And that's double because you're walking at a weird pace, you're kind of like chipping, and you're dancing like the whole time as well. So that's sort of walking a marathon.
Balance that out with the liquor.
Still walking a marathon, man.
Yeah.
But every day was harder than running a marathon. But you know, some of these challenges was so physically demanding, and you just at the start of it, you're just thinking, there's just no way. There's no way I'm going to be able to do that. And you do it. You don't look at what everybody else is doing, or they're that far, or da, da, da. You don't look at what anybody else. You just focus on what you're doing, and you put. And I don't want to sound like some like cheesy motivational speaker, but you're putting one foot in front of the other, one foot in the other. Just keep going, and you look up, and it might be an hour, it might be 4 hours later, but eventually you kind of look up and you're like, "Fuck, I did that. I didn't stop. I didn't listen to that part of my brain saying just fucking collapse, just give up right now." And I feel like I've tried to come back home with that same mentality. Like, okay, what are the things that I look at and go, "Oh, I couldn't do that. Oh, it's too difficult. Oh, someone else is already doing that and they're way better than I am." Well, like apply that same logic of put one foot in front of the other, one foot in front of the other. Just keep going. So I kind of came back feeling that we put so many limitations on ourselves of what we can do. Fuck the physical stuff. Like that was obvious to me. I'd said to myself, "Oh, I'm not going to be able to go past this point," and I fucking did it anyway. But I'm talking about like the mental restrictions you put on yourself. You think, well, I might be doing a few things that I enjoy, but I've got no space in my life to do anything else. I can't learn this new skill or go and try this new thing out. I don't want to step outside of my comfort zone. But you're putting that restriction. No one's come up to you and been like, you can't do whatever it is. Like, you're putting those own restrictions on yourself. So I tried to come back and think, let me not do that. Whatever the glass ceiling that I've created for myself, let me fucking smash through that, or at least raise it up a few levels, you know?
I think that's what the boys wanted from you as well. Like, I think that's what they're trying to show you can do. They're kind of making you realise a potential that you wouldn't have unless you went through that process. Yeah. Do you feel like they had a lot of love for you as well? Because it's easy because when I watched that first episode, at times I'm like, you lot are fucking pricks. You're just doing this to fuck with them. But then at other times, I'm like, wow, like this is something that you guys are doing to others because you've gone through this and it's made you into some of the best operatives in the world. Like the SAS is respected very highly when it comes to special forces.
I'm not just saying this, right? I love those guys so much. Like I'm gonna get a little bit like choked up just thinking about it, but they're so amazing and so supportive. And like maybe Ant would say like the only one he was a little bit more he was sort of like a distant dad a little bit, you know, because we didn't really like get a chance to like really like hang out with him. But say, you know, like Foxy and Ollie and Billy at some point, you know, whether it was they were briefing us for a mission or they'd be showing us around the accommodation, like it just felt like don't get me wrong, they demand total respect. Don't you ever try and take the piss. Don't you ever try and think like, yeah, we're pals. Don't you ever do that. But I felt like I'm just going to show them respect. I'm not going to try and overstep the mark or whatever, try and take the piss. But they were so incredibly supportive and so amazing. And to just share that experience, just to get a tiny little snapshot into their world and how they've trained and how they've become who they are was was just amazing. I think sometimes, they come across a little bit harsh on telly.
Just a little bit.
Some people are like, will they getting in your face? I'm like, nah, not really, If you're slacking, or you're bringing the rest of the team down, or you're trying to get off by not doing as much work, maybe instead of lifting your feet 6 inches to the ground, you're just trying to get away with like 1 or 2, they're going to be on you, because they don't want anybody thinking that this is going to be an easy ride. But every single one of them had these incredible moments with, be it just the odd words of encouragement that they would say to me, or just like a bit of advice, or just, a general outlook on life was just... It's like when they talk, I just want to listen, There's so much knowledge.
Were there people that were the converse of you and did take the piss? And are we going to see some people feeling the heat? Because there was a couple of times it was like, oh, mate. And I was like thinking, what the fuck?
But you know what? That's you're talking about Sam.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I didn't want to hurt up Sam. Sam was like, oh, mate.
I love Sam, man.
He fucked up though, didn't he, in the first episode?
I think in the first episode, what you're seeing is just like Sam making that adjustment. Because Sam loves everybody, and Sam just wants to be everyone's friend. He wants to make everybody laugh. He's very sensitive. He can tell, when someone's a little bit upset. I mean, you'll see it as it goes on. If somebody's upset, Sam gravitates towards them. He wants them to, feel better. It's just in this setting, the DS recognized quite early on, like, right, he might be a problem. He's a little bit, I'm a class clown. In all my schools, I was the class clown. But I guess the difference is because, these like basketball camps and stuff that I went to, and I realized early on that the way you get respect of people is, if they demand it, you got to give it.
Yeah. And head down and get on.
Maybe Foxy put it really well when we did like a press day the other day. He put it really well. He said, look, everyone who does the training, does the show, whatever, they will get into the mentality of what it's supposed to be like and how they're supposed to be. It's just that some take a little bit longer than others to step into it.
And those are the bits of the journey that I enjoy watching.
It's thoroughly entertaining though, man. I mean, seeing Foxy go out to Sam after he fell out of the helicopter, because Sam sort of like fell back and then he turned around as well, so he did a couple of flips.
Yeah, he did listen, he went quite Olympic.
He did a couple of flips as he come out of the helicopter, and Foxy just like walked up to walked up to him like, we're all shivering trying to get changed or whatever, put our clothes back on, so like put the dry clothes back on, and Foxy just walks up to Sam and he was like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
He looked like he just got shot.
Was it when he fell out of the helicopter, he goes, fucking wanker. Wanker. It's like, wow. Wow.
Dude,
first time
pushed me out of
the helicopters, his first time. Fucking wanker. And you see him fucking that was surreal. That was kind of a big wake up to kind of the way it was going to be. So how is it being around people that are highly trained killers? It's not debatable. These guys at least assisted.
Can I level with you? Yeah. I'm not even like trying to be funny or whatever. Yeah. Can I level with you?
Yeah.
I thought about it constantly. I'm not even joking. Like the entire time I'm around those guys, I'm like, they could like kill me so easily. In fact, on one of these press days we were doing, we were like separated off into groups, and there was me, Andrea, Fleece Women, and Foxy, one of the directing staff. Okay, Foxy's like, over 20 years, like special forces. He's retired now, but like he's done tours, bruv. He's like he's special forces.
You cut him, he bleeds special forces.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So me and Andrea have been asked questions about the first episode. Andrea has like quite a big story arc about her past and stuff and what doing the show, like some of the demons that's brought up. And a lot of the journalists were interested in talking to Andrea. She's off Loose Women. A lot of people wouldn't have expected her to do the show. So when you do these press days, you get moved around different groups of journalists. You do all the magazines and you do like a few like online ones or whatever. So you'll be sat at a table, about 4 or 5 people with their dictaphones will ask you questions, and you all take turns to answer. So by like the third group we were with, Andrea's answering one of the questions, like, and it wasn't this, but it was something close. It was something like, was it hard or was it bit cold or something like that, right? And you know, like me and Andrea, it was ever so cold. Oh yeah, it was so cold sometimes. Oh, I cut my finger. Right? So Andrea's in the middle of answering this question, and I had a corner of my eye. I can see Foxy, you know, ex-Special Forces, right? I see he's like looking down at his pen. He's just like twisting it around in his fingers, and I'm just like, I wonder what he's thinking right now. But me and Andrea are like pathetic. Like we did it for a few days, and we're there going, oh, it was so hard, oh, it was so cold. And like, I was just like, I wonder what Foxy's thinking right now. He's probably just thinking, I could kill both of these lot. This pen right now sitting there moaning about.
I could do it in 25 and a half seconds. And I could be back at base in 3.5 hours. I'll be back in Chile in 6. You know what I mean? Like,
man.
Okay, yeah.
And so I did.
So these are killers. Yeah, you're around killers all the time.
Such a fraud. Just complaining about anything, moaning about anything with these lot. I was just like, let me just give them 100% respect.
What did you miss though when you came home? There must have been something that you just got your hands on. Bit of food, drink, home comfort, your favourite seat.
Oh man, sugary drinks. That was all, because all you really have out there is obviously you want to drink loads of water, tea with no sugar, or no sugar for tea. Coffee I was big into, like out there. Sometimes you like find a little bit of coffee.
Find a little bit of coffee.
Yeah, sometimes they put a bit of coffee out for you. Sometimes maybe not. Sometimes you just like manage to like get some tea bags from somewhere.
Wow.
But even then, you got to take the water, you got to put it in your mess tin, you got to heat up the water on the stove, make sure that boils, and pour that in your little flask. And you got like a cup of tea for the day. Like, trust me, when you're like halfway up a mountain and you got half a flask of like lukewarm tea, that might,
liquid gold.
That might save your life.
Yeah.
In fact, there was like one exercise we did where I found my emergency rations from something we did before, and I didn't need them. And it was like a heat in the bag bolognese thing, right? So it's like really clever actually. You like put some water in a bag, shake it up, whatever. You put it like, wrap it up, whatever. You leave it for a few minutes, and then you have like a hot spaghetti bolognese. I'm telling you, man, that's like top 3 best meal I've ever had in my whole life. I was sat in the back of this like rally, like flatbed or whatever, driving through the night to God knows where. And I'm just like eating this bolognese, heat in the bag, like, oh God, this is amazing. And I remember I looked over, I saw Victoria Pendleton, she like shivering on the other side of the truck. And you know the heat pack that it comes with, it gets mad hot, because obviously to like heat up the food. It's like, Victoria, do you want my heat pack? Like, you might need it. But that's how we like looked after each other, It was like, right, who needs some help? Who's struggling? Who can we...
So they managed to convert you in was it 10 days you out there?
The whole process was a week. So we had like a couple of days to acclimatise, and then there was the actual like training bit. Yeah.
So within that week, they managed to turn you into the beginnings of a squad, like the beginnings of an actual team.
I felt like we was a unit, I felt like we was like a tight family unit who all cared about each other.
All right. Well, before we move on, like what's something key that we should be looking out for? Actually, no, wait, Dev, sorry, bruv. One of the big talking points from the last season was the scenario where they make you fight. Now, I thought this was something they were going to save until later on in the show, because it was one of the things that there was a big buzz around, because they pretty much said, we're going to make you fight, but there's going to be absolutely no sort of way that we're going to let you kind of go, oh, we're only going to make, a big person fight a small person, no girls on guys, no guys on girls. Now, this is one of the things that they actually went straight for in this first episode, and they flipped on its head a bit, didn't they?
Yeah, that was on our first day, they did a 2-on-1 boxing match, which is just nuts. 2-on-1, like boxing match, like you got 2 people trying to thump you up. It's a lot. And so I ended up with 2 of the smallest girls having a go at me. And
so what goes through your head when you're in that scenario? Be real with me, because I think that there's a lot that could be going through your head.
I knew straight, because I'd obviously worked it out. We were the last people picked. I'd worked out, okay, it's not going to be me and another one of the girls going against. So it ended up being me, Victoria, and Camilla. They're not going to like put me and one of the girls against another one of the girls. It's going to be them 2 against me. So immediately, the instruction was, you have to fight back, because they were trying to teach us that, they don't get to pick who their enemy is. If they were out there in the battlefield and 2 women like came after them, you got to take them out. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
Even if it's hand-to-hand combat.
100%.
But I'm thinking, this is a fucking TV show, bruv. So I ain't swinging on no girls. I don't care what the exercise is. I ain't swinging on them, okay? You don't get me on camera swinging at these girls. So, you know, I gloved up, and the whole time I'm just thinking, yeah, there's gonna be Ulysses on bad, just bobbing and weaving. I'm like, these ain't gonna be able to catch me. Man, I'm gonna do
a rope-a-dope Dev, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I let off a couple shots.
Because were you aware that if you didn't let off those shots, that would at some point they'd use that against you, or they'd come back for you? Because that is something that can happen. They do remember.
They weren't happy about the fact that I didn't fight back, and it was only it feels like so much longer, but it was only a couple of minutes. So the first little round, I felt like I
go on.
rolled, you know what I mean, the couple of wheeze out of the way. And then there was a bit where I was against the wall. It's a really weird sensation, right? Because I was against the wall, and both of these girls are like swinging at me, you know what I mean? And they're not weak girls. They're like swinging. But just this feeling of, I felt so helpless because I was thinking it was going against everything that I've been taught.
Yeah.
You know, like regardless, like I can't throw a punch at these girls. You know,
it's
like
the way we've been socialized.
I'm so much like if it weren't in this setting, you know, I could just grab one of them, fling them, whatever. Like, you know, I could easily get myself out of this situation, but I can't. I've sort of just got to take these licks against the wall. And then for the second round, they made me like square up again, and they were like, "You better fight back, like, you know, don't just like stand there." Like,
so they clocked onto your bob and weave.
So I let off two different shots. Right, so one shot, I jabbed Camilla in the head a little bit, but it's kind of one of those like I give her one of them ones, like I kind of shoved their head back, like give us some space.
Back up.
Like I was gonna set her up for the base, you know. I didn't follow it up. I just give it a little like on her head.
The jab before the cross. Yeah.
And maybe I gave Victoria Pendleton a little hook to the ribs. Maybe I did. Maybe I gave her just a little, just to get a bit of space. You know what I mean? Just to get a little. And I kind of heard the wind kind of like come out of her a little bit. Yeah. I felt terrible about that. But I was like, I thought that was acceptable.
Because in 2019, our generation has been socialized. Do not hit women. Yeah. That's how, like,
from miles of you. Listen,
yeah, even EastEnders, you'd watch like a woman pummel into a guy, he'd slap her back, and they'd be like, you know what I mean?
Is that him here?
Yeah. Probably Trevor. That was Trevor, the Scottish villain, because he was heavyweighted. He was heavy. But so you've been socialized to just not do that. Like mentally though, like afterwards, like.
Yeah.
What was the changing rooms like? Like, what was it when you got back to base? You've all just been punching each other up.
Horrible.
So
everyone's crying.
AJ deliberately, because she saw the play, she kind of deliberately picked two quite big people, didn't she? So
she picked two guys.
Yeah, you've got Olympians in your group as well. Yeah. You've got ex-rugby players. You've got some of the most physically fit people out there.
AJ picked two guys and she stood her ground, but she got battered. Like, it was really hard to watch. She got battered. Thumped up in the face, everything. I was like, oof. But here's the thing, right? The guys were very, very upset afterwards. When we all went back to the accommodation and we were like, sat around, everyone was very, very upset because, you know, naturally in our profession, we're not aggressive, violent people. You know, we don't enjoy fighting. Of course not. We're fucking TV presenters and fucking work in the media or whatever, you know, trying to get as far away from that shit as possible. So in that moment, to have to be pit against each other and inflict harm and damage to, you know, each other was so difficult. But, you know, what I was explaining to, like, Sam especially took it quite hard. What I was explaining to him was like, look, AJ picked you for a reason. She picked you up because as part of her experience, she wanted to go against two guys. She explained it in a bit, like, all her life she feels like she's been fighting against the odds and, you know, against people who are bigger than her. And so this was to prove to herself and maybe to other people that, you know, I ain't no fucking pushover, you know, I could take it. And she did. She was still standing, like, at the end of it.
That was insane, yeah. She took a pummeling, like, they did show like
AJ,
that.
Man.
Yeah, so afterwards, like, over dinner, at the end of the day, like, what the fuck do you talk about after you've all been slapping each other up?
That, you know, we were reminding each other it's an experience, it's a TV show, let's not take anything personally. Let's all look after each other. It was very difficult. That was probably like one of the lowest. It was probably one of the lowest moments we all had together. It's like just coming back from. It wasn't just difficult hurting each other. It was difficult watching each other get hurt and get beat up. But you just got to do it, man. You just got to get on with it. You just got to do it.
It's crazy, man. Well, that's just episode 1, bruv. Out of 5. So I'm, in a weird way, I really look forward to seeing the next episode. But I'll be honest, Dev, like, it's not an easy watch. Like, it's not like Friends. Haha. It's like, the tension is unlike any other show that I've seen before, because it's fucking real. It's faces that you know. Do you know what I mean?
That feeling you might get in your stomach whilst you're watching it, it's like that times 10 when you're there and it doesn't go away. Even when you're in your bunk at night and you got your eyes closed, you're like, any fucking minute now they come. Any minute now, Foxy, Ollie, Billy, someone's gonna beat off that door and be like, fucking get outside right now, like, please just let me sleep. That was one of the hardest things to turn off as well when I got back. I mean, it was only there for a week, but being like trying to come off high alert when I come home, like even just trying to be comfortable in my own bed, is just that and I realized when I come home as well that didn't stop. From the time the process started to the end, that feeling of any second now something's going to happen, that didn't stop. They're very good at keeping that.
I'm curious to find out how, when people exit the Special Forces, how they help them transition back into society. With all due respect, being on high alert all the time, that's not how it is in the real world.
No.
In their world, when they're out there, that's cool. But coming back to the real world, I'd be very interested to find out what the process is. Get reintegrated into society. It's hard.
That's a really good point. I mean, I don't want to trivialize anybody's experience 100%. In the military at all, but I definitely did think about that. I only did it for a few days. If you've been in the military for years, and you come back home, having to be told, all right, your whole frame of mind and the way that you've been thinking for the last. You might have done like a couple of months tour. You might have been in the army for a few years. Okay, you gotta not necessarily forget all of that, but that can't be your first go-to reaction anymore. Yeah. You just gotta be like everybody else. I cannot imagine how difficult that must be to. It made me have so much more respect for anybody who's had any kind of a military career, having to try and adjust back to life after that. But Foxy especially has been very open about mental health issues surrounding that, particularly with soldiers trying to sort of get back, to normal or whatever that is. And I mean, that's like so important for people like him to be talking about that, because it's almost not just for the people who are experiencing it, but also so we can understand it as well. That's something I'd never even thought about until, I'd had like a tiny little snapshot experience of it. Yeah. No one was ever shooting at me. I didn't see anybody die or anything like that. So I can only imagine how awful that was.
So you've only seen a degree of what somebody whose full-time job is.
Yeah.
Because I like to think that I've met a few people and I'm like, they've been in the military, and I found out afterwards they were, and I'm like, it does change you in a way.
It has to.
So it's very, very interesting conversation. But man, I just, even though you're back, I wish you the best of luck for the rest of the show. I don't know what's going to happen.
I know how it ends.
Yeah, man. So,
I know how it ends.
Yeah, so
I know the ending.
That full spectrum of emotions that Devs talks about, they've teased that as well. So that's going to be. It's going to be a weird watch, man. Like, because I know you, bruv. So like seeing you in that scenario. Is going to kind of bring it home as well. And but I suggest you check it out. Like I said, it's not an easy watch. And obviously do your thing, donate, stand up to cancer, innit?
That's right.
So there's full details of that on the show. We'll put a link to that in the show description. Talking about anything else is going to feel so hard right now. New phone, who this? Is a little thing that we did recently. Good guys at O2 sent us a P30 Pro handset. Dev and I went out and tried it out for the day, man.
Nice romantic day together, taking pictures.
We were boyfriends of Instagram for the day.
No doubt, man. It's gonna be like hard to talk about it and it not sound like an advert, but that's a fucking dope camera. Like, if you're a photographer and you do mixtape, album artwork, like. I'd be worried. Is what I'm saying. I'd add another string to your bow, because Like, if that camera becomes like sort of standard, ain't nobody gonna be paying no fucking photographer. I'll be like, I'm gonna use my phone. That was fucking dope.
Yeah, it's mad. It's like we just went out for the day in like central London. We were just literally just walked around taking pictures like normal, but it's the AI, like, and this is across all camera phones. I just want to say, like, the way that the AI is kind of leveled up over the years means that you really can just point a camera at somebody, whether the light's good or bad, it's going to do its best to kind of take a sick picture of you. And Dev ain't messing around. Like, some of the pictures that we got, like, there's like one of you leaning against the friggin' collage of posters, just chilling out. And I was like, Dev, I think I might be a professional photographer.
It's a press shot.
Yeah.
Like, I wonder if there must be photographers still pissed about, like, Instagram, for example. Before Instagram, I mean, the only way you could really get a half decent looking picture, or the people who seem interested in photography were photographers. You know, now everybody knows how to crop, add a little filter, some and the numbers, and then, you know what I mean, try and, you know, there's people who have like stylized Instagram pages.
Yeah, with like the borders and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Might be borders, might be like they've arranged the pictures in a certain way, so it kind of just like quite stylized.
Yeah.
I imagine like the same thing with, it seems like such a minor thing, but having a powerful and really professional looking camera that's just part of your phone, I really think it's going to be a game changer. You're just going to get that, people are going to become interested in like taking a cool photo or trying shit out, or, you know, trying to do something a little bit different. And
yeah, well, I think what it was is Instagram before, it's a good point. There used to be like people that took Instagram photos of themselves or whatever, and then there used to be professional photographers who uploaded to Instagram, so they'd send them to their phone. But now, with things like the P30 Pro and that next generation of phones, like, you don't need the SLR anymore. You can just go out, snap. And I think if you're already a photographer, this should be something that you should have in your arsenal, like something that's small. It's a point and click. That's what they call them, point and clicks. Something that you carry around with you. The point and click is now going to be integrated into phones. And one thing that I used to talk about with other photographers was they used to say, right, they're great, the sensors are getting a bit bigger, but lenses, you can't fuck around with the glassware that I've got on my DSLR. It's fucking P30 Pro. And again, like, I was explaining this to Dev, like, and let me know if this sounds weird, like, because it's kind of hard to explain sometimes, but they've taken 5 lenses that usually would stick out of your camera.
I'm glad you're explaining this, because
it's mad, isn't it?
Yeah.
But they've kind of put them on their side, put them in the camera, and they've used like a periscope kind of style. So imagine a periscope, you stick that up over a high wall, and it means you can see over a wall. There's like a periscope style in your phone, which means that there's like, is it 50 times zoom?
50 times zoom. It's like it's like a pervert's wet dream. Like, you can zoom in. You know, you zoom in on most phones, and you get like especially say you're at a festival or something like that. You're trying to take a video that makes it look like you're closer to the stage than you actually are.
Yeah.
But this is like, it zooms in and still mad clear. See, the only thing I wasn't really feeling about it was there's like some weirdish kind of blemish filter thing that it does to the pictures.
So automatically filters faces. So like, yeah, we noticed that when it was taking pictures, it would like airbrush.
And I'm like,
we don't need that.
I'm like, I know I don't look like that. Firstly, because I'm a rigorous moisturizer, but also I don't want to get used to my face looking all nice, smooth, and then when I actually see it in the mirror, I'll be like, what the fuck? Don't lie to me, phone. Tell me what I actually look like. That's the only kind of feature I was a little bit like, I want to be able to turn that on and off.
I think we did. There was a manual saying.
Okay.
Yeah, it did. But yeah, it was just a fun day. Like, we'll throw some of the pictures, I'll throw a link in the show description. Yeah, man. And like I said,
you must have looked like a couple of dickheads who were like walking around like, take a picture of me here.
Mate, not today. Not in 2019. Normal.
Yeah. Also, big up Cold Drops as well, man. King's Cross.
Yo.
Cold Drops.
What a nice place.
I mean, no one can afford to go out there, but just for walking around, I'm like,
I afforded a coffee there, bro. Yeah. Paying for it this week.
What was that place we went to that was like £14 or something for some Ethiopian smoked espresso or whatever?
Yeah. A good coffee though, isn't it?
Bad boy little cups.
After I had the coffee as well though, to be fair, you could take the mick out of that coffee, but I came out of there. We stopped for a little coffee and I came out, I was like, Dev, I don't know what was in that coffee, bruv, but I am good to go.
It might have been coffee or like liquid cocaine. I don't know, but
give me some of that. I'll have
that
one of
man
those.
fired up.
I'll have one of those before the gym. I'll lift the whole gym with everyone in it. So yeah, man, we'll put a link to that in the show description. Check out New Phone Who This. I think it's something we're going to be doing more often when there's a new handset that's out. O2's going to give it to us and we can go and take pictures of each other.
It's one of those things you're like, how comes no one's done this already? Like, even just the title is
New Phone,
brilliant. Yeah.
Oh, thank you very much, Dev.
Why has no one done this yet?
Is that a rare compliment from the Dev?
A rare compliment. I give out compliments like they're fucking orange slices at the London Marathon, bro. What are you talking about? You want a compliment? Yeah. You want a compliment?
Well, yeah, I had fun writing that, man. Had fun. Shout out to the guys behind that as well. So yeah, Radio 1 show, man. How's that going? Because not too long ago, you like graduated to the midday kind of vibe. So it's like 1 till 4.
Yeah. So I do 1 till 4 now in the afternoon, Friday, Saturday, Sunday with the lovely Alice Levine, which is the best because I don't have to be at work until 11 o'clock in the fucking morning, man. This is the first time I've ever done a radio show that I don't have to get up in the fucking morning, mate. Like,
real talk, how many years have you been doing early doors for?
I actually think this is going to be my 10th year on Radio 1. I think this year is 10 years in like September or something like that, or maybe next March, I forget. And I used to do early breakfast, which was getting up at 2:30 a.m.
That's a fucked up. Is that late or early?
Who knows, man? And I never worked it out either. It's not like I was like, I'm going to go to bed at 7 p.m. and wake up at no, I didn't do that. It was whatever. Get home at midnight, cool, sleep for an hour, guess I'm going to work, like get back home. And everything, I was like studying to do a degree at the same time. I was just like, I'm not fucking send myself mad. But I did that for 4.5 years, man.
This is the training that prepped you for SAS.
Do you know what I mean?
This is what
when they were like waking me up in the morning, like bam, get out on the screen. I was like, I've done this.
You were like, welcome to Radio 1. It's there.
I started introducing a record and shit. Fuck it, hell. Did a little back at it. Yeah, no, I did that for years. I did weekend breakfast for years, and then now I don't have to get up early in the fucking morning. It's great. But I also I covered The 8th, which is Radio 1's evening naughty show between like 9 and 11. That was a lot of fun. That's actually a show I wanted to do. I wanted to do a show like that for a really long time, where we got to be a bit rude, like how we are on the podcast. You know, you don't have to worry so much about your language or who you're gonna upset or offend, or in like, you know, the case of my podcast, you're not worried about who's listening. Yeah, no, it was just like a lot of. It was a lot of. Why don't we put this on my podcast as well? This would be good content. I've not put a podcast out in ages.
Fuck yeah, why not?
So we could just like we'll just post it at the same time.
Yeah, fuck it.
And you'll say you're talking to me, and I'll just say I'm talking to you.
Fuck it, yeah, standard. Sharing content.
Yeah. And now I've got you recorded saying it as well. So like,
yeah, but we'll just edit it around. I'll say fuck no. Fuck no.
Punch it in later. No, I do not want to do that. The evening show was just a chance to really try out some silly ideas that I've had for a long time.
Yeah, man.
One of them in particular was this thing, Weird Wonderful, where we would speak to people who do things that other people might consider a bit weird, but we are trying to find wonderful things about. So we spoke to this guy who does like swinging and cuckolding. That was fascinating.
Talk us through this guy's experience of cuckolding.
So what he does is he's single, and what he does is he'll bang guys' wives, but they'll know about it, you know. So it's not like, you know, like sneaky affair shit. It's all organized. And funny enough, a lot of dudes from the military who might be married might be like, look, I know, you know, say to the woman, I know you got needs. I know you're longing for the touch of a man. You know, like I'd rather know about it and get, you know, organize it rather than just any old Tom, Dick or Harry. That's
premium rate, because to fuck a killer's wife, yeah, you've got to be brave, because if I don't know, I just feel like you're fucking someone's wife who can kill people. What if he decides halfway through it's a no-go?
I just think there's that understanding, though, innit? You have to. And
all right, name one of the guys from SAS. Would you fuck one of their wives? It's okay. It's all right, Dev. I know about it.
No, but
it's
I'm not. Here's the thing. I'm not into fucking other people's wives anyway.
If you were, though, yeah, would you? Someone. And as he's telling you, he's holding a pen. Fox holding a pen. Dev, so
no, I really don't want to do that. I've been indecent proposals before.
Yeah,
there's like girls and guys who have been like, either they want me to like bang someone in front of their boyfriend or whatever. I'm like, no, I've enough trouble performing in front of like one person, and that's the person I'm fucking, like, let alone. No,
being judged by outside parties.
This is the bit of the chat with the swinger cuckolding guy that really got to me. He said, I much prefer it when the husband just requests certain things, like we go out to dinner, send him some pictures, maybe a little video. He said, I prefer it like that rather than when the guy is sat in the corner of the room in an armchair. Which made me feel like, oh, that's happened before, hasn't it? That's happened enough times that you know that you're uncomfortable with it and you prefer it to be the other way. Just to do, you can just see him in it, like sat in the corner, he's kind of blacked out a little bit. You can't see the top half of his body. He's just like sat there in the corner, like watching you fuck his wife.
And his silhouette's got a weird bit of motion to it. His shoulders are pumping up and down because you know what his hands are doing.
Yeah.
And the occasional
slap her ass a little bit. It's like, oh. God,
that's to be under scrutiny while you're having sex, though. That's like a live scrutinous.
Oh yeah. Just maybe it's something I could have done like 19, 20, but now I don't know. I'm
when you're 19, 20,
about that shit now.
Yeah,
man.
when you're 19, 20, your dick's just up anyway, innit? It's just doing its job.
The wind changes direction. Yeah. You're like, hey. You get that weird thing where you're like, you know, like your belt or something.
Fold up
like,
into the band.
Push against it. You're like, ooh, that's practically pussy, right?
What's your name? So there's that. Who else was weird, wonderful?
We did a weird, wonderful with this guy who I can forget the proper name for it. It's like vagina massage or something. So it massages vaginas, and it's for women who either struggle to or have never had an orgasm before. And to that I said, like, why do you come and see me first, girls? I'm joking. But he sort of teaches them techniques, teaches their partner techniques to using them. This is like much better if you're also watching this as well as listening, because what I'm doing right now
is a camera in here, devil
just kind of like holding my thumbs up to Marcus's face and just sort of doing circle emotions. A little bit like I'm rubbing moisturizer into somebody's face. I don't know what the massage is. I'm just assuming it had some thumbs involved. But he sort of teaches them how to do it. But his story was fascinating. First off, he sounds exactly how you would expect a vagina masseuse to sound like. He was a little bit was he Spanish or French?
Was it like inconspicuous European tone?
He says, I'm not going to do that accent because I feel like I'm just going to offend a lot of people, but he's like very quiet. Like anyway, him and his girlfriend were together for a while. She started to struggle to orgasm regularly. He learned this fucking technique, just taught himself, like reading books, going seminars, making little clay models. I don't know how he learned, right? But he got really into it and then did it to her. She thought it was so good. She was like, you have to go into business with this. You have to offer this as a service, as it were. Not like a sexual thing. So, like, because that would be a difficult fucking sell for you to do that the other way around, for you to be like, baby, I just feel like I got this gift that I need to share with the world. You know what I do for you that feels so good for you? Why just keep it to ourselves?
But I feel like that's like the highest compliment you could receive from somebody is, this is so good, you need to share this with the world. I've never fucking had that. I think I've come out of the room like a champ. I've never had anyone say to me, this is so good, share it with the rest of the world.
What a supportive wife she is, slash girlfriend. Like, if that was the other way around, say like if it was, my girlfriend gave like the best like hand jobs ever. Like she does like some weird like sort of like stress ball thing with my nuts, and like fucking it's got like some like weird Vulcan grip shit going on, right? I ain't telling this shit like nobody. You mad? That's for me. Even if you ask me about like, bro, did you go do anything funny adventure? Nope, that's regular, bro. Not needing to worry about.
You won't even let me shake her hand. Get over! Hey, nice to meet you. You get the fuck away from her.
That would be our secret, mate. No, but this guy's wife's like, yeah, you need to go into business. So women come to him, you know, they pay a little bit of money. Yeah,
women come to him. Very good, Billy. Literally. Hey.
And then they pay. It sounds mad dodge, but it's not. Like I don't want to make it seem like it's like seedy or anything. Yeah. You know, he's a professional. Okay?
Yeah, cool. Yeah, he's professional. He's a professional vagina wizard, and he teaches them these techniques. He like gives them a little. The rub, and then some of them come like 18, 19 times. Sometimes they cry, you know, just so overcome with emotion. Some of them it's been years. Sometimes for the first time ever, they're just orgasming like, yes, thank you. And it's amazing. It's beautiful. I didn't even know that was a thing. You know? No, it is. So
like you've never been with a girl that can't orgasm before. I know I have. It's like it makes you feel a bit insecure, but at the same time, that's like. It's not like it's you. You know, there's some women who just, you know what I mean?
There are some women out there who just ain't compatible with you. I see it, or they haven't found that right person yet. That's how I'd put it, because I'd hate to think somebody would just think there's no hope. If that's something that they want, some people might be like, cool, I don't want an orgasm, but some things that I've never had, I wouldn't mind not having. But once I've had them, I'll be like, damn, I'm so glad.
Like what?
I don't know, things like sweets, chocolate, deep throat. Anyway, moving on.
Sweets,
chocolate, deep throat. Now there's like loads of things though that's interesting though, isn't it? To go back to him, what I was thinking is how does he make sure that everybody knows it's business? Because to be that intimate with somebody might turn around to him afterwards and say, look, thank you for your help, but you know, you're the first guy to do this to me. You're special to me.
The girlfriend would need to be there, right? Like, surely she should at the very least be there doing the admin or like...
What, during the session?
Yeah.
So now she's in the corner.
How could you trust she's in an armchair, like, making sure everything's above board? Like, look, her chin's like sort of angled down, but her eyes are looking upwards at him. Yeah, just... But then that's the other thing though, isn't it? Like... Women could go for a massage, even if it's a fucking fanny massage, right? And not think, oh, I want to fuck this person who's doing it.
Yeah.
But for a guy, though, it's much different. I remember I had a Swedish massage. It was all above board. I had a Swedish massage like a couple of years ago. And I don't know if it's that you're just getting touched in a place that you don't usually get. Like, you ever had like your hair washed at like the hairdressers or something like that? They're just so attentive and it's so like, ooh, no one's like ever like rubbed conditioner into my head. It's so nice that you just kind of fall in love with them a little bit. I don't think women really get that. And then they're just like, yeah, whatever. This is just a massage. It's functional. But for guys, we're like, oh, she wants to fuck me. I bet she does. I bet she's thinking about it. I bet she's not.
I reckon it swings both ways, man. Look at personal trainers. Personal trainers are very likely to get in relationships with their clients. I know a lot of personal trainers who are because if you're there, it's another thing, an intimate relationship. It's not even genuinely the most pleasurable thing. It's going exercising feels good afterwards, but at that time it doesn't feel nice. But
yeah, I've had a few that is like, all of my like training you. You know, yeah, let me train you, a couple of free sessions, whatever. I wonder what that is. Is it just because you're working out together? Like, I think like gym gear on a woman isn't it just the best?
It's just gym gear both ways. It's designed to make you look good.
I love the gym gear, all the little weird patterns, the fucking, what is it, Gymshark, I fucking love that.
It's designed to make you feel great when you're working out.
It's so good. I love it. What a fucking time to be alive, man. You see a girl coming to the gym just I'm like, oh, it looks great. It's just showing off everything and just, fantastic, man. So it really, really gets me going. You know that?
Really? Does it?
Oh, it's the bee's knees, man. I love that shit. Like the full outfit as well. The full like leggings, whatever. Then the pattern going up.
It is designed to make you look good. It's designed to make you look good. It is
so great.
So you're seeing someone regularly and you're dressing up in your Gymshark stuff, yeah, and they're helping you. After you see them, you get a rush of endorphins from working out. You look at yourself, you feel the best.
Yeah, you do.
They're responsible for making you feel good and look good. How can you not get attracted to them?
Yeah, I couldn't be a personal trainer.
I reckon they get it in.
Oh, 100%. Yeah,
I reckon they get it
They're
in.
like the dark horses. They think they're getting away with it as well, but we all know.
Now we all fucking know.
all know.
We know.
We all look at every personal trainer and be like, we know.
Yeah, you scumbag. Yeah, we know what you're doing is
fucking.
Yeah, look at you in the best shape of your life because you live in the gym.
Yeah, I bet you're not even working out. You just look like from all that fucking.
Yeah, look at that, those fuck abs that you got. Anyway, I gave you a shout the other day, Dev. You were on the shitter. I don't know if you're aware, there's an ongoing theme here on the show you're probably aware of. We've discussed it a few times where we talk about whether one sits down or stands up when they go for a shit.
Yeah.
That's not the question. When they wipe.
Let me finish, Billy. Billy's very touchy about this because of the area that he's in. You didn't even let me finish the sentence. When they go for a shit and they're wiping their ass afterwards.
Are you guys okay?
We're okay.
This?
Billy's a little bit touchy about this. Billy gets a little bit on edge about this.
He's just like fucking insulted his firstborn or something like that. Whoa.
He's like, actually, it's not just when they're shitting, it's after the shit, when they're wiping. All right. So, Dev, after going for a shit, a nice healthy one, you've had a fibrous diet, wiping your ass. Do you stand up? Would you stay seated?
I mean, I've heard you lot talking about this before. Here's the thing I don't understand, okay? Why is it one or the other?
We've had hybrids.
There's every shit is so different. Like, you never know what to expect. You got to adapt. You can't. It's not just a one straight rule for everything. So, I'll tell you what is a game changer for me. Like last year or so, and I don't give a fuck about fatbergs. Right? Don't come with me that. Baby wipes, bruv. Baby wipes is a game changer. I've almost got it down to a perfect science, right? So I do usually my morning movements quite like heavy, quite dense. You know what I mean? But also quite a lot of product as well. So I'm usually on the toilet a good 15 minutes just to make sure I get everything. I call it sometimes like my stress dump. Just all my stress, just gathering in my gut. Just get to first thing in the morning, get on with the rest of my day. Right? So what I'll do, that first wipe, I'm not even looking at that, bruv. That's a fucking write-off, mate. I don't need to look at that. I know what that's going to look like. It's never going to look good.
It's going to be a mess, a hot mess.
I'm not even looking at it.
Yeah.
I'm like, not even... I'm like, no, not even a little peek. No, bro, gone. That first one is a write-off. See you later, mate. Then the next one, all right, now we've got to see what we're working with. All right, have a little peek, cool, fold, environment, fold, have a little wipe, then baby wipe. Baby wipe comes out now. Because I now got the main, you know what I mean, got baby wipe comes out, using ones at the moment, coated in fucking coconut oil.
Jeez.
I'm saying.
Jeez.
So that first one goes now. I have a peek at that as well to see that what are we working with. Usually, on a good day, it's looking all right. But here's the thing: you're getting a bit of residue left from that baby wipe. You don't want to pull your trousers up. Still got a little bit of baby wipe residue. You don't want that. So now, tissue again. Aggressive wipe this time. Aggressive to get off some of the residue, but also see what's going on. Fold environment. Aggressive. Have a look. Throw. Now one more tissue.
Polish off.
For just a gentle, let's see, because what I'm trying to do with that last one is replicate what my clothes are going to be doing against my arsehole for the rest of the day. Okay, so if I go a little, just kind of gentle kind of, and have a look.
Clean.
Then I'm done. But here's the thing. If by that first baby wipe one, if it's still looking a bit, I might be here for a while. I did a few courtesy flushes. I will stand up. I will stand up at that point, right? Because again, what I'm trying to do is replicate my day. How am I going to be moving, you know? Like I don't know if you notice about me, I'm extremely flexible, you know, like very supple joints, where I like to move around a little bit, you know, like sometimes I would just be waiting at a bus stop and I just like
Touch your toes.
I just move myself around a little bit, trying to see what, get myself into a right angle and see what but again, there's been some dumps that I've done that require you to stand up to make sure you're getting everything. Because one thing I will not accept as a grown man is a shitty ass. I won't do it. I won't do it.
It's not acceptable. It's not acceptable.
If I'm at your house and I need to use all of your toilet tissue just to make sure that I'm not even a little bit shitty, sorry, bruv, you're going to have to go without.
Because there's nothing like, and I've learned through experience at a young age, having a shitty ass on a hot day.
Horrible.
Why?
Horrible.
Why would you?
All the horror of a skid mark is just so unacceptable to me. As so unacceptable. Even just a little bit. It's like, oh my God, I've let everybody down.
Yeah.
Oh, I couldn't look at myself in the mirror and be like, you fucking animal. What is that?
Skid mark fucker.
You can't even look. How you supposed to do anything? You can't look after yourself. You can't even wipe your ass properly, bruv. So all I'm saying is, if you lot are committing to I only stand up or I only sit down, I feel like you're selling yourself short. You know, adapt and grow. Adapt and grow. Adapt and grow. Don't confine yourself to just one thing. That's all I'm saying.
So with that being said, the majority of the time, where are you at?
Here's the other thing. I don't know if anyone's brought this up yet. We're not even shitting properly.
Oh, we've had the conversation about having properly. I think Jordan Crisp and CJ Beats were talking about having the pool
We're not
stall.
even shitting properly.
Yeah. So we need to be squatting.
How dare us
them?
How dare us talk about whether we stand up or sit down? Because we're not even shitting properly. We're supposed to be squatting like they do. I remember having some very bad noodles in an Indonesian airport and having to try and use the like squat hole in the floor thing that they have, and I paced around that for about 20 minutes, bruv, going, there's just no way my Western arsehole is not going to be able to like get shit. I'm going to shit all over my shoes. I mean, I might not be able to get back up again. I'm worried something might fall out
down the hole.
How am I supposed to do that? I had to go to the desk and level. I said, listen, I'm from London, okay, we don't have toilets like that. I'm not going to be able to use that. You know where he let me use the toilet? In the first class fucking lounge in the airport.
Jeez.
The only one that they had in the whole airport. It's like, thanks, man.
Was it a good toilet?
You've done me a solid. It was amazing. But I did think about it afterwards. I thought about it so much, like, why can't I just do the little squat shit? Do you know what it is? I don't think it's something that, you know, they say you can't teach an old dog new tricks. I think that's what it's down to. You can't be 34 years old trying to squat and shit for the first time. You know, either you've done it before and you know what to expect, or you're forever going to shit how you shit.
I want to get you the stool. And see how that is. Because you're not squatting, you're still sitting, but you just have your feet raised a little bit.
So like what, it just like kind of...
Yeah, it's just a little stool.
Lift your legs up a little bit.
Yeah, a little step, yeah.
I'm just trying to picture what that'd be like to use like right now.
Dev's right now, he's got his feet up, his hands up by his knees, his knees up by his face, shall I say.
That might be, that might be quite enjoyable.
Yeah, try it out.
I will take one of them off you.
Happy birthday. Yeah, be a little birthday present for you.
Don't buy it for me for my birthday.
Christmas? But Valentine's?
I should nearly tipped over your whole desk. Sorry.
But it's funny, inside that whole conversation, you touched on something. This has been going down on Mumsnet and Huffington Post. Yeah, that is where we find time to research stuff. So there's a whole thing people talk about: scrunching, folding, and other methods like that, because apparently folding means the paper's thinner and your fingers are more likely to tear through and give you poopy fingers.
Listen.
Scrunching gives you a bit of roughness to clean properly.
Mate. If you're scrunching up the tissue to wipe your ass, you need to get your fucking life together, mate. What is that? That's not effective. What are you cleaning up? Like some fucking spilt yazoo? What are you doing? Like that needs to be neat and folded. Like it's efficient. How do you fold the scrunch? You can get shit all over your hands. What are you talking about? You can't fold flat always.
So you can't fold a scrunch. That's dangerous.
No,
but you can
that's
fold.
such a waste. You'd have to scrunch it after one wipe, it's gone.
With the wet wipe, do you fold it or do you don't scrunch? It's a folded wet wipe.
Okay, here's the weird thing about using the baby wipe. Yeah, you do have to fold it, but you're probably getting a little bit of shit through the wet wipe, right? It's not. I mean, it's porous, isn't it?
It's feasible. It's feasible.
It's porous.
And the coconut, in your case, the coconut juice could transfer through the wet wipe, and the juice may have touched your body and then touched your hand. We're going to wash our hands anyway, right?
You're 100% going to wash your hands. But what I'm saying is, like, the baby wipe's porous, so you're probably getting a little bit of doo-doo.
Yeah.
You know, in your finger, like, every time you do it, there's a little bit. Yeah.
If you're putting your hand down there, odds are there'll be fecal matter on your hands.
Probably.
Yeah.
That's why you gotta wash your hands, man.
Okay.
And I've seen, like, 2 people this year come out of the toilet after having a shit,
They need to die.
fix their hair, and just walk out of the bathroom.
Fuckers.
I'm like, you know what? You're the reason, like, we still got, like, the fucking plague in certain places, man. You're the reason, like, kids are still being born with rickets, bro. Like,
Yeah,
wash
you
your
fucking
fucking
prick.
hands, man.
Disgusting.
You're gonna shake my hands, give me, like, ringworm or something.
Disgusting.
You're gonna go sneeze over a salad or something. Like, come on.
You're going to scratch your eye with your shitty finger and get pink eye. You dirty fucker.
Flip it out, man.
disgusting.
I hate we have to share the planet with those people.
So you're a folder. I think I'm a folder as well. I'm not a fan of using wet wipes though because of the fatberg stuff.
Fuck them fatbergs. You know, this is the sad thing, isn't it? About, I think, the difference between our generation and, say, kids. When we were told in 150 years' time, like, all of East Anglia is going to be underwater or whatever, global warming, we're like,
I ain't gonna be around.
I'm going to be long gone by then. I mean, we will be here. We're going to live forever. By the time we're 80, we're going to be in a fucking server or something.
Yeah, man,
like that.
downloaded.
They would have done Chappie, but in real life, like, we'll be Chappie.
Yeah.
But for, you know, our kids, like, that's kind of a reality for them. They're like, well, like, in 80, 100 years' time, like, my kids or whatever, they're going to have to... So personally, I know this is awful. I'm not really thinking that much about the fatberg. Right? I'm like, that's a necessary. And I don't think I overindulge with the wet wipes either. But it's probably a really awful thing. But I value the cleanliness of my own arsehole more than I'm concerned about fatbergs.
Could you compromise with wet tissue paper? Using a bit more.
Nah, dude.
If you had a little jar of coconut oil, maybe spray the
what happens
water.
to tissue when you wet it? It breaks up.
So you have to use a bit more.
I just get broken up tissue in my asshole. You never seen that before. You never seen a girl, you like, okay. Do they know, by the way?
Nah, they don't
The
know.
girls know that you see their arsehole so much. Like, if you're in a relationship with a girl, right? You see her arsehole so much, don't you? You see it so much.
From angles that they never, and without using a mirror and squatting over it, from angles that we would never see.
Like, I've seen my arsehole maybe like twice in my whole life. I've had a look at my arsehole and go, nah, okay.
Yeah.
I see. All right. Right on. But, you know, for every, like, long-time girlfriend I've had, like, I've just seen, like, I could probably pick it out in a lineup. If you, like, showed me, if you had, like, one of my ex-girlfriends, just, like, a lineup of arseholes, I could pick it out.
Just the circle.
I could pick it out. I could pick it out of, like 100 arseholes.
What, the actual like balloon knot, or the coloured, the slightly darker skin around the?
No, I'd need to see like a patch.
Dev's making a patch that's like 2 inches by 2 inches.
I need to see like a patch, and I could be like,
bum holes.
we
are
went
like,
out for about 5 years. That arsehole right now.
They're like fingerprints. They're like irises.
It's no one the same.
Iris shaped.
That's actually the next
security
technology.
So get into this bathroom.
In fact, because you know they say like koala fingerprints are very similar to humans.
Yeah.
But they're like, there ain't no arsehole like a human arsehole. So the next thing will be like, you know, before you unlock your phone, you
put your phone next to your ass.
Like, hold on a sec, bro. I want to say, hang on a sec. It's locked again. Hold that for me, bro. No, not the phone, my cheek, bro. Hold on.
Do you think people are aware of how unique their arseholes are? I don't think people know about how unique their arsehole is. Fucking mad. Arsehole technology.
Oh my God.
Anyway.
That's awful. Sorry.
All right, one more thing as well, and I'd like you to help our very own Billy with this, because this is something that
Really?
I think I want you to make him aware of, Dev. It's a little article that we've come across.
Well, he doesn't use condoms. Billy, what are you playing at, man?
I think I'm just showing Dev the article, which is on howtoclearnow.com, and I think it's just for a public service announcement. Apparently, this is something that needs to be known by many people.
The article is called "Don't Use Condoms Twice." So apparently, some crazy people out there are doing something we never thought we'd see. They're reusing and washing condoms. Just look at this tweet from CDC STD. Who's that? CDC.
They got a tick.
We say it because people do it. Don't wash or reuse #condoms. Use a fresh one for each #sex act.
Were you aware that so many people were rinsing out condoms and using them?
That's what they used to do.
Turning them inside out. Really?
That's what they used to do. Yeah, in like the 40s, you would get like given like your granddad's Johnny or whatever and be like, "Here you go, son," like, and you'd use it, and then you'd finish like,
fuck off.
Stick that on the sink with like the wash. Look it up.
Off.
You'd like stick it on the sink with the washing or whatever. Like rinse that out, pop it in your top pocket.
What were they made out of? Like Michelin tires then, to get the wear out of them?
Yeah, I don't think it was. I don't think it was like latex technology back then. Yeah, what would it have been like putting on like a fucking balaclava made of like fucking rubber?
This has got to be someone playing a joke on me on Google. I just googled 1940s condom. The first one that came up is called Nuttex.
And they come in a tin, bro. That's
Nuttex in a tin. Nuttex condoms.
Yo, if
you're gonna nut, take it to the next level with Nuttex.
If you fucking pull a Johnny out in front of a girl that's coming out of a tin, bro. If she still lets you like sleep with her after that, that's gangster right there. You're pulling out of a tin. Giving a little tap first.
Yeah. Oh man, they were radium condoms.
What is radium? That don't sound like something you should put on your dick, does it? Like if you're like put this on, it's gonna like make you perform amazing. Cool. What's it made out of? Radium. I'm like, nah.
You're either gonna become a superhero with a super dick, or you're gonna die.
I don't want to risk radium.
It readily reacts with nitrogen on exposure to air, forming a black surface layer of radium nitride.
Yeah, that's too many chemicals already right there.
It's a chemical element with a symbol Ra. RA, an atomic number 88. No, it's got an atomic number. Wow. How dangerous is radium? There's no evidence that exposure to naturally present levels of radium has harmful effects on human health. They're usually caused by gamma radiation.
Why are people... Does it not explain why people are reusing condoms? Is it an economy thing? It's fucking Brexit, isn't it? I bet it is. I bet Brexit's the reason when people are trying to save money on Johnnies by reusing them. Because you can't buy a new one, man.
People weren't aware. A very small percentage of people that is growing, like we're talking like 5-6%, but it's quite important. So people aren't aware that oils...
Like homeschooled pagans or something. Who's reusing the...
Young people aren't aware, apparently.
Idiots.
So Billy, I just want to put this to our producer Billy, just to make sure that he's using condoms once. And
just once, Billy. Once, man. That's it. Just use once and then throw it in the tie a knot in the end and throw it in the bin.
Yeah. But a bit of advice though, if you're having it for a posh wank though, I'm just saying, bruv, a wash and reuse ain't going to be the problem then, is it?
Why is it still a little bit embarrassing to buy Johnnies from the shop?
Because you're saying I'm about to have some fucking.
Like, especially when you like run in there at like 2 a.m. on a Thursday morning, you're like, boss man, them ones, no, further light, yeah, cool. Yeah.
And he's looking at you going, are you gonna fuck? And you're saying, yeah, I'm gonna fuck.
Do you ever try and like buy other stuff to go with it? To lessen the impact.
Random petrol station stuff, like a rabbit hutch, and then some condoms.
Anything you buy with it is gonna look weird. Like you be in there trying to buy like a
flashlight,
pack of Super Malt and like some Quavers, and then also give me a pack of condoms as well. Like why?
Anything you buy, people are gonna associate that with the sex. So if you buy Quavers, he's gonna think you're somehow using the Quavers during
Quavers
sex.
Off someone's back. What's wrong with this guy? We need to start owning it. No, because you know what is more embarrassing than going to buy condoms? What? Chlamydia, bruv.
Hell yes.
Illegitimate children.
Hell yes. Hell yes.
Fucking gonorrhea.
And the rest
is drippy willy, mate. That is embarrassing.
Fuck that. And
genital warts is embarrassing. You know, I got a little funny STI clinic story, right? Oh no, two. I'll do two quick ones. One, as I was coming out of STI clinic, this is like the one that used to be in Archway, so I was probably about 19, 20 years old. And as I was coming out, this girl tried to chat me up while I was outside. She's like, "Oh yeah, where you going?" I'm going home. I'm going home to go cross my fingers until I get my results. And she's like, "Oh, cool, can I get your number?" I'm like, "Nah, you're not really trying to chop me outside of fucking ST.
Was it apparent?
Unless you're showing me a clean bill." I'm like, unless you show me your results where we're like, "Here, I'm all clean." Like, what are you doing? Anyway, another time I went, this woman comes to get me. I'm sat in this room and she like pulls this fucking. I sit on the little like table bed thingy, pull my trousers down to my knees, and she's like sifting through my pubes, you know, and like trying to look for any bumps, any lumps, whatever, any abrasions. And she just kind of looks up at me and she goes, "Oh, I've actually got 2 student nurses with me today. Do you mind if they come in and observe the procedure?" So I was like, okay, like just trying to be helpful, just trying to help out. And then like these 2 like 19-year-old interns come in and pull up a chair and they sit around me, and the light is not dissimilar to this microphone. It's like they're like shining this light down on my fucking dick and balls and sifting through it, lifting up the sack, whatever. See, that's all, it's normal there, and and I just had like this. It was not sexual at all.
How did your dick react to this then, knowing it was under that scrutiny?
You know what?
People react differently to that kind of pressure.
You know, I was very proud of my little guy.
Well done.
Didn't get scared. You know what I mean? Realized what was going on. Oh, bit of an audience. Okay, all right. But it was not sexual at all. Funny enough, we like bring this up because I tell you where I was a little bit worried during the SAS Who Dares Wins thing.
Yeah,
it was so cold. Sometimes, and sometimes, you know, you might jump in some cold water and you get out and it's still cold, right? After that couple of days, I remember there was one time I stripped off, bro. I looked down at my dick and I was like, "I'm sorry, is this my dick from when I was 4 years old? Where is it?"
bruv, your dick's probably looking to go back in time, not just back inside you. Your dick's probably disappeared, bruv.
You ever had that
your body's probably consumed your dick.
You ever had that one where it's like shriveled and twisted around? You're like, what? I don't see the back of it. Like, what? Hey, this is on telly, man. What are you doing?
Your balls and your dick were inside you for the last half of that, weren't they?
Oh, mate, it looked like it'd been fucking choked out. Like someone, like he'd forgotten to tap out.
Your dick got mummified. Your dick looked mummified.
Like, come on, man.
Shit. Who knows? We might see it in the next few episodes of SAS.
I worry. I'm really worried that you might see my shriveled, twisted willy in one of these episodes. I really am.
Another reason to look forward to.
There you are.
Yeah. Anyway, then, man. Thanks for coming down the show, man. We got to bring you back. I'm so curious to see what happens to you and all of the rest of the guys. Like,
it's gonna be very, very emotional
because we've had one explosive dropout already. Somebody who looked like they were really injured. I can't remember her name. She was the MP, Louise. Yeah, and it looked like she was like one day and she was done. So
she had a very difficult fall into the water. So when we were doing this backwards drop out of the helicopter, they were like, "Don't bend your legs, don't try and turn around, don't try and flip." She kind of landed in a bit of an L shape. So the back of her thighs took the whole impact of the water.
Shit.
So, you know, rather than falling in like head first where you'll be a little bit more streamlined, she hit the back of her legs and snapped her hamstring, and she had a 3-inch tear in her hamstring. So that's what she tried to soldier on through with, and that's you're pretty much done, right?
Yeah, I respect that. She was she sounded like she's in pain in that episode as well. She's fucking in pain. Anyway, Dev, thanks for coming on the show. How to Kill an Hour. We can obviously find you on Twitter. It's Dev_101. Instagram @Dev.
It's just Dev.
Yeah.
A lot of people really angry at me that I got that name, you know.
I saw that. Why is it in your profile it says my username's not for sale?
Because everyone keeps asking if they, you know, it used to be people saying that they wanted to buy my username.
How much for? How much they offer?
I don't know. I never asked.
I'd be curious. Right? Yeah.
But there's some people now that are just like, give me that username.
Pussy, yo, what the fuck you talking to? Are you mad?
Some guy is like, he looks like he's about 14. I've seen him in my DMs like a couple of times now, and he's like some American dude. It's like, hey pussy, give me that. Hey pussy, give me. Sorry, online stuff is just so funny to me. Hey pussy, give me that username. Right? Give me my username. That was
My username.
And I was just like, alright, well, I'll just ignore it. And then he sent me one, and another one being like, I ain't playing. Right? I wasn't playing. Give me my. I can't do it. Yes, none of that's real, innit?
Nah, man.
Just gotta
Internet warriors.
learn to switch off sometimes. But yeah, just I want to reiterate, my username's not for sale. I'm not selling it unless I know that Instagram's gonna be like done next
Tomorrow,
week or something. Then you can have it. Yeah, I'll just give it to you.
All right, cool. Well, that's where we'll be at. Cheers for coming on the show, bruv.
Thanks, bro.
Plenty of ways to kill some time out there. Thank you for killing some time with us. You can vote for us in the Listener's Choice Awards at this year's British Podcast Awards 2019. If you'd like to vote for us, it only takes a minute of your time. Head to britishpodcastawards.com/vote. That's britishpodcastawards.com/vote. Type in How to Kill an Hour, and then, you'll have voted for us. It only takes a minute of your time, and we'd really appreciate it. We'll also put a link in the show's description. Thank you very much in advance. And hey, here's hoping we win.